Hi guys, this is Mark Rodriguez.
And I'm Johnny Rodriguez, and you're watching the very first episode of the Video Game Masters.
You've been watching other shows like the Angry Video Game Nerd and Impulse Kid. We decided to do our own video game review show.
Oh, like a pilot?
Well, I guess it's a pilot episode. The only problem is, what game do we start off with?
Well, how about the TMNT for the NES?
That game is horrible and it's been covered way too many times already.
Then how about Clay Fighters for the SNES?
You want to start the show off with that horrible game?
Then how about the Super Street Fighter 2 for the Sega Genesis?
We still have it?
Yeah.
Didn't we sell it when we bought Street Fighter Collection for the PlayStation?
No, we still got it.
Well, why not? I mean, can't go wrong with Street Fighter, right?
Now, before we talk about Super Street Fighter, let's go back to the beginning. You know, before Capcom announced that Ken and Gaio were in-laws and that Zangief was gay.
What the fuck?
What? Nothing wrong with that. I mean, some of my best friends are in-laws.
Well, anyways, in 1991, Capcom first introduced Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, E. Honda, Blanca, Guile, Dhalsim, and Zangief to arcades everywhere.
Yeah, we know there was a first Street Fighter, but nobody remembers that.
You know the story by now. You pick one of the fighters, enter a martial arts tournament to defeat the other 7 fighters, and then face the 4 Grand Masters, Balrog, Vega, Sagat, and M.Bison himself.
Soon after that, Capcom released Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. It let you use the boss characters from the World Warrior and also let you fight each other as the same character.
Due to pirated bootlegs, Capcom fought back with SF2 Hyper Fighting, which pumped up the speed and gave the characters new moves like Chun-Li's Fireball.
Street Fighter 2 was everywhere.
Everybody and their grandmother was playing Street Fighter 2.
And introduced a brand new way of competitive play where the winner stays and the loser pays.
It also brought out a lot of merchandise. Some of it was good.
Of course! And some of it, not so good. Game over!
SF2 was so big that when Capcom first released the home version only on the SNES, it was all Nintendo needed to compete against Sega in the old console wars.
Genesis got Sonic 2, Streets of Rage 2, and Blast Processing.
Oh yeah, I got the Super Nintendo and Street Fighter 2, bitch!
Capcom would later even the score by releasing SF2 Turbo for the SNES and SF2 Special Champion Edition for the Genesis only a few months apart.
After a while, people started to wonder when Street Fighter 3 was gonna come out.
Well, Capcom didn't quite deliver, but in 1993, they did release Super Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers.
Super Street Fighter 2 featured a brand new animated intro, a new overall presentation, and a combo counter. But the biggest thing were the 4 new challengers. Cammy, Fei Long, DJ, and T-Hawk, bringing the cast to 16 characters. Not only that, but the old guys got new voices and redone stage music, as well as some new moves.
Chun-Li's Fireball never looked better.
Mark!
Which brings us to the Genesis version of Super Street Fighter 2. How does it compare? Let's check it out.
Bring on the purple bar!
What?
As you can see, the Genesis version did a decent job with Super Street Fighter. Although the SNES version had slightly better graphics and sound, the Genesis version did have a few advantages. All the character and announcer voices were kept intact, and the music kept going from one round to the next, like the arcade, where the SNES version would restart the music at the beginning of each round.
And Chun-Li even kept her bottoms-up fireball in the home version.
And after 3 tries of making Street Fighter, Capcom still insists on adding that stupid brick wall bonus round.
What did Capcom have against the Burning Barrel stage anyway?
Many fans complained about the lack of speed in the arcade version of Super Street Fighter, so the home version added a couple of extra speed settings. Now, besides the usual arcade mode and versus mode, the home version added a couple of extra modes for 2 players to enjoy.
First off, we have the tournament mode that lets up to 8 players fight it out to see who's the best. Then we have the challenge mode that tests out how fast you can defeat the opponent or how many points you can rack up doing so. We also have the group battle mode. In this one, you can pick up to 8 fighters each and fight it out where you win by the points you score or by elimination.
Now the main problem is the control. As you know, the classic Genesis controller only has 3 buttons, and by default they're only the punch buttons.
You actually have to press start during a match to switch from punch to kick and then start to switch back. Now imagine trying to do Vega's air suplex where you have to charge down, then up with kick to go airborne, and then switch back to punch to do the suplex. Sega actually released a 6-button controller when they released Special Champion Edition, and it's a must-have to play Super SF2 properly. Super Street Fighter is a good game, and the new challengers continue to thrive today. For example, Fei Long and Cammy made it into the recently released Street Fighter 4.
The home version of Super Street Fighter 2 didn't sell as well as Capcom would have liked, for several reasons.
First off, the home version of Mortal Kombat 2 was out at the same time. When you compare how fresh, new, and different MK2 was to Part 1, fans just saw Super Street Fighter 2 as the same old game with just 4 new guys. Not only that, but around the same time that the home versions were out, Capcom released Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo in the arcades. Super Turbo added the speed fans missed, as well as super moves and the now classic Akuma.
With every Street Fighter game coming out at around 60 to 70 bucks each, fans would have rather have waited for Super Turbo to come out.
But that day would never come, since the first system to ever get a home version of Super Turbo was the now forgotten 3DO system.
The what?
Exactly. Super SF2 for the Genesis is a good game, especially if you have the 6-button controller, but it's hard to recommend nowadays if you can find a better version in the SF Collection or Capcom Classics Collection 2.
Well, as it is, Super Street Fighter 2 is a great game. And I think it wraps it up for today's episode of Video Game Masters. Steve, we did a good job for our first episode. Don't you
It's a
think?
pretty good episode. We did our best.
No? Okay. Well, that wraps it up for today, guys. I'm Mark Rodriguez.
And I'm Johnny Rodriguez.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.